Put the fries in the bag and the grass in the bowl, and I do what I'm told. Yeah, I do what I'm told. Got the fries in the bag, got the stash on hold. Clock in, clock out, then I do what I'm told. Put the fries in the
Omni
bag and the grass in
Creations
the
is
bowl.
proud to present.
Hello, and welcome back to Ring Ring Hello podcast, the podcast where no matter your background, you're not alone in a post COVID world. I'm Rebekah, your host, and today I am being joined by Jmaloof, artist and creative, joining us all the way from Ireland. Hi, hello, how are you?
I'm good. Hi, everybody. Yep, I'm Jmaloof, and I'm super happy to be here. So,
We are so excited to have you, and we're going to go ahead and dive into our questions, ladies and gentlemen. Maloof, my friend, what would you say first inspired you to become an artist? And in that, did you have any type of aha moment or anything that really pushed you towards this venture of creativity?
oh geez, um,
Strong.
I yeah, I like to think that being an artist for me is almost out of necessity. Um, and I'm sure there's a lot of artists that feel very similar, that there's just something sort of in you that needs to get out, and almost this sort of sense that I couldn't imagine pursuing anything else.
It's a part of
It's
it's like it's a part of your soul in a sense.
yeah, and it's to I can almost be a bit neurotic about it, where
Oh,
like if I don't make art for a while, I get kind of depressed. I mean, it just sort of
it has
just
an
kind of how I
impact.
am. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, and it's just sort of like some people like going for walks in nature, and some people kind of like need to socialize every once, you know what I mean? And we all do these sort of things that I think that that's how we fill up our sort of like fulfillment or
Mhm.
tanks or however.
Our cups, if
Yeah,
we were all cups, how you fulfill yourself. I think that makes total sense.
yeah. And then, you know, once I kind of realized that I could do that as a profession as well, it was sort of like, how can I make this work? So,
Yeah. And and since that realization, when would you say you really discovered within yourself that you needed to be an artist? Like you speak on the mental side effects. So how long would you say, if you're comfortable, would you say that it took like throughout your life to really notice that connection for yourself?
oh, yeah, I mean, it was almost kind of a gradual, um, slow, slow burn, if you will. Um, I kind of attribute a lot of it to, I have a very close friend named Ivan, that we write these little poetry zines together, and
Yes.
but his family is, especially his dad and him, are very art oriented, and so sort of I would just go over and spend all my time there, and we would watch all these art documentaries and movies. And um, his aunt is kind of an accomplished artist as well, um, Catherine Kuharik, and Paul, his dad, said something along the lines of like, whenever you see an artist that has quote unquote made it, it's like the things that you don't see is that like every single day they're making art. Um, and uh, she'll do these sort of, it's like tessellated, um, almost like DMT fueled psychedelic
Ooh.
gouache paintings, and she's like completely sober, by the way, but it's very psychedelic inspired, regardless. Um, but I think from that point forward, I was like, if I'm gonna do this, that's how I'm gonna do it. And I think I make art that's very different than the art that she makes. But the type of commitment to the craft, I hope or like to believe is very similar, and definitely I would say that was, I guess, if I had to attribute one crucial moment of my life that sort of set me on this, it was that, where I was like, all right, well, if this is what I got to do to, we just cut my teeth on this, or whatever the phrase is, that I guess that would be it.
Yeah. So you have is this Ivan? This is a long-term life friend?
Yeah.
So you guys kind of grew up together, and from
Yeah.
there.
Well, I God, I had a really terrible sort of high school experience, if I'm being completely honest. And I basically had to like graduate early and sort of just spare myself of the constant harassment, or ridicule. And one of the people that sort of saw me through this time was Ivan. Just
That's awesome.
kind of, yeah, I mean, he's just a good guy, and
Yeah. I mean,
so it's good to have
real
people like that.
in life sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, especially in high school, but I think time and time again, he's showed me kindness and good character. So,
Well,
good guy.
And you've connected with art and poetry. And for those who may not already know I think your art is very beautiful. Like, I know people's idea of beauty is very different, but for those who don't know, I won't necessarily say macabre, but there's a lot of depth and surrealism in your work, and I love it so much. So, which is also,
thank you.
You're so very well. Thank you for creating it. Like, to hear that you have this need to create, like, that I can understand, but what you make is just so, it's complex. There's so much depth and story, and like outside of the skill in itself. Could you share with us a little bit more about your art? Describing it in words, you could do much better than I.
Yeah. Gosh. So I like to consider it kind of an intersection of styles, where it'll be it can have elements of Renaissance, or it can have elements of modern or Impressionism. I would say most often it leans towards surreal. But I try my best to, I suppose, reflect sort of this emotional experience that I have, be it happy or sad, or and I think oftentimes it is a little bit sort of like maybe lonesome or outsider, but I also try to sort of bridge that into something beautiful as well, because I think like the true
subjects.
Go ahead.
No, you know, please.
Well, I guess it's just sort of like, okay, so if I'm going to paint like a skull, right? Which I don't really do much like that, but I won't just paint a skull. I'll try and interpret it in a beautiful way, if that makes sense. Sort of trying to do this. Life is oftentimes suffering, but there's also beauty in it, which is true. I mean, we have to find the beauty in the little things and sort of the minutia, in loss, like in everything. Like if you lose someone, like the beauty of it is that you love someone so much that it affects you, so right, and
Exactly. Yes, I
um
definitely understand.
so everything kind of comes from this, yeah. um
A healing element in a way is the way that I view it. Like when I look at your art, I see the pain that is being depicted, but what it comes more so is the fact that that energy was put into creating this painting, and that process of the painting coming to existence is the beauty of processing the pain that is in
yeah,
context.
and I think at some point I wanted to, like, I asked myself, what is it that I want to contribute with my art. And so at the end of the day, like, if I contribute something beautiful, then that's success for me.
Yeah. Yes. No, I
So
definitely understand. And with your with your art and with your mediums also. So you mentioned, or no, that was about another person. Could you share what your preferred mediums for creative release are? And are they
oh
particular to moods? Like, do you have a system within that?
yeah, gosh, I mean, I'll make art with whatever's available. I think the older I get, the more I almost consider myself just a painter. I love printmaking. I do like mezzotint and dry point and woodblock, and I do like ink and illustrative work as well. And I love this work too. But I find usually when I'm doing, especially like my ink work, it's when I travel, and I can't like bring my oil paints with me, or but the thing I like about
That
oil
makes
paint is you sort of get this, you could get a lot of depth with it, but make a painting in a day, or you can make a painting in a month, or there's no, I find I get a lot more freedom with it, if that makes sense.
Yes. So
And
you
expression.
enjoy that freedom of it's not finished until you seal it and make that final decision. Would you say you often take the time to kind of step back in the while you're in the process of creating something, or what does your creative process usually look like?
um okay, so I am trying to be better at leaving pieces to be finished when they're finished. Because in my early work, I would do this thing where I would rework a piece sometimes for years.
Oh wow.
And I sort of had this realization that, it would almost make more sense, instead of painting over a piece and making changes so that, maybe the composition's better, maybe I've added some elements, at the end of the day, it's not one painting, but it's 50 paintings. So what I do now is I sort of I'll make a painting and then I'll take photos of it and I'll look at it. If I'm not able to sit in front of it for a long period of time, over the course of like right now I'm taking the bus back and forth, right? So I leave the studio and I'll look at the painting almost every hour on the hour. And I'll just kind of see if things jump out at me. I don't know if that makes sense, but
no, I think it makes sense. You like to observe and reflect, and then taking the time to give thought to what you're doing.
Yeah, and then once it's done, it's done. But I'll take things that I've learned from that piece and maybe I'll incorporate it into another piece. Or I'll take things that I'm like, oh, maybe this would have been cool. And then I'll make a painting with sort of an objective to include that.
Very good. Very cool. So
yeah,
then you have the original idea, but then you have the idea that came in pursuit.
Yeah, well, it's almost like the pieces feed into each other, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I've been doing a lot of these webbed sort of surreal paintings recently, and this last piece I did, it has sort of these leading linear perspective lines that shoot back, and it creates this sort of visual depth. And that was my goal with this painting, because I've done a lot of these sort of surreal webbed pieces, and I wanted a focus on creating a depth, and I wasn't sure how to do it at first, but I think if that makes sense. So it was like the last one I made, I was like, oh, this would be cool, and so the next one I was like, okay, well then I'll do it with so
yeah, dude, it's like and would you say that you like comparing what you started with at the beginning of that process of like having the mindset of changing, that you're gonna finish the painting, be done with it, and push forward, and then now with the webbing paintings that you've been working on, which I also think are so cool, and I highly recommend people check out, because I now knowing that, like, I'm gonna go back and check out everything and be like, oh, now I can see, because like once you know the thought behind the creation, the viewer can start to connect those dots of like, oh, I see how he could have had from this to this. So I'm very
you could
excited.
It's almost like a flow chart,
Yes, and that's what I'm saying. It's like I love analyzing. I love analyzing things. So and that, I know that's a me thing, but and I also, the web context, like what do you have any type of specific meaning to that to portray within your paintings, or is that like, how does that come about?
Well, the first painting is actually sitting right behind me right now. I can't show it over the podcast, but it's titled Reclined Figure and Landscape, I think. But it's basically a Manet painting of a prostitute that's titled like what's the goddess of love? Help me out here.
Aphrodite?
Venus.
Venus.
Yeah, Aphrodite, but I think it's Venus in this one. And then I sort of did this. It's a specific type. It's Prussian blue. That builds up lights really well, and it's really deep, almost like a black. And I sort of did network out of this, and it was supposed to be sort of like her life spilling out, if that makes sense. But it's like a really beautiful take on it. And then it sort of just come to mean from that sort of like there's this play on life, and sort of like you get these sort of networks and almost what you'd see in like coral or plant structures, but also like brain health and neurology. So yeah, and I think I've talked about this online a little bit, but my mother passed away. She got sick when I was 18, and me and my family, we took care of her, and she had frontotemporal dementia, which is it's a disease that's characterized by like it affects your personality first before it affects memory and judgment, and it happens at a very young age, but and it's also oftentimes genetic. So I think sort of this super strong, frankly, a emotional tie to sort of like just how sacred our brains are.
Yes.
That it's come to me represent more than anything else, just like that the complexity and fragility of sort of neurons and brain networks and I guess like personality, ego, and life. Long-winded, pretentious, long-winded explanation for that.
Certainly not pretentious, and not long-winded either, I would say, to be quite frank with
Thank you.
There is a great deal of context and story within your art and within what you choose to represent also. And that, I would say, a platform. And I'm very grateful to be able to share it with the world, and more so, like amplify it within the world. You already share it with the world. But I think, well, I think people need to desire more to give thought to things. And I think your art representing that in the way in your own way, with this personal reflection of the importance of the network of our brain. And as I listen to you, I think about not only everything that you're saying, and absolutely concur. I think about how that reflection of personal self for you, and then my own way of seeing it is how I see how important it is for the individual to connect with our network of community. So like that crossover, and
well, it's everything, right?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's ended, but no, it's not, because it's life. Like there's so much, everything is so connected, and you're showcasing that in such a unique and incredible way. Like your art really is, it's so cool, but like it's more than that. Like, and I mean that in a sense of like it's so original, and like that's what makes it art. You know what I mean? Like the art in itself, like your representation, like it's your creation, your need to do it. Like it's so important. So I say that to say, don't you dare talk down about yourself. I don't tolerate that.
Well, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, I
And thank
think,
you.
yeah, I like to think, art is the human side of existence.
Yes.
Stephen Hawking loved, the arts. He said it's as important as science. So,
And it is.
yeah.
Our need for creation is innate. Like we need to make things. That's human nature. And a lot of society tries to get us to believe that we need to be the consumer constantly. And like
Yeah.
that, that's not the case. Actually, we need to be the output more than anything.
Yeah. And I also, another thing about it is I hate how people always will be like, well, I'm not any good at making art, but
Yeah.
like making art in of itself is such an accomplishment. Like if you're
Yes.
making art and it's bad, then it's you succeeded.
Exactly. You did something.
Because
You did it.
yeah, and it's good for the
Congratulations.
soul. Yeah. I mean, it just no
The
one should ever
perspective
feel
aspect of it.
discouraged or bad about doing a creative outlet. I mean, that is just your soul, that just it's so important, I think, for everyone to take time, make bad art, do it. It's good for you.
Yes.
Eat your vegetables, get your exercise, make bad
Make
art.
bad art. Live your best life. But like, come on.
Yeah,
Love your community.
absolutely.
Figure shit out.
Yeah. So,
With speaking on perspective and your creative output into the world, what would you say is your way of defining success in the business aspects of creation? Because you figured out that you figured out in life that you needed to make art, that's a part of who you are, and
right.
you recognize that, and then from that you had to then figure out business side of it, or how did that kind of come about for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting because it feels so I never measured success by monetary measures, I suppose. So
Individual
if
level.
if I have food on the table
Mhm.
and a place to sleep, and I continue to do what I love, and other people are loving what I make, then that to me is success.
Beautiful.
And it's not any more complicated than that,
Yeah. And
I feel very fortunate.
blessed be, some things in life can be as simple as that.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I'm very thankful for the life I lead.
Well, it's the life you've built, my friend.
Yes. Yeah. But also it's important too to recognize the fortune or blessings, or it's, yes, I put work in it, but also people work hard every day, and not everyone gets to do what they love.
That's very true.
Yeah, so I try to
So,
recognize that.
yes, the gift within. Absolutely. Would you
Yeah.
say that there's been a lot of tough decisions that you've had to make in getting to that point of success where you are?
I mean, we still have our, it's like, yeah, I wouldn't say the, looks online can be deceiving, you see. when measuring success, especially in the
Oh,
arts.
yeah. Yes, yeah, people,
But
yes. I understand.
I I would say basically the mindset that I am going to do this at all costs, if that makes sense.
Makes sense. That sounds like the discipline. And discipline is the
Yeah.
hardest thing in life. Like, people underestimate how hard it is to remain disciplined in anything.
Yeah, and it's like I will sacrifice going out sometimes so that I can make art. And sometimes I eat, less expensive food, so
Make
it's like
sacrifices.
art supplies are
Ways that
fucking expensive, man. It's like
That's true.
we were eating ramen and rice for a fucking couple of weeks back there, and it was rough, but
You got through it?
also it's like, yeah, we got through it, and it's like this is the life I chose, and it's a beautiful life, and
Absolutely. That's what I'm talking
yeah,
about.
and so it's like, yeah, if I was in it for the money, I would pick a different profession, and I guess that would be the main obstacle here. Is sometimes it feels like we're skating by, but it's feast or famine out here, and we ball, we have fun with it. So I don't know. Can I
Yeah.
cuss on this, or
I can edit.
okay, yeah, I'll try to keep it to the minimum. But yeah, and another thing I'll say is, like, I've talked about this on my profile and online as well, but like my wife works in migrant and refugee resettlement, and she's the breadwinner, if I'm being frank, but at least the main breadwinner. But that's also not a profession that you go into if you're money motivated. It's like social work does not. Yeah, it's like at the end of the day, every single time that you make a decision, you're not just choosing between two outcomes. You're choosing between what type of person you want to be in the future.
And having that
so
way
that's
perspective,
yeah,
makes you will either make you more mature as a person and stronger, or you'll learn other aspects about yourself.
Yeah. And hopefully at the end of the day, if nothing else, we can own it. So yeah.
That life in making the most of what you have. Would you say that is something that is shared within the community that you have?
That life and making the most of what you have. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a complicated question, a little bit.
Do you have many?
It depends on the person,
That is true.
But also, I know some people who are really struggling, and it's also like that's okay too.
We all struggle,
because
but when we get in this point,
and that's life.
Do we
And
uphold ourselves like we can overcome? Like having that at a point that you have to learn to have the discipline to be like, I'm in something right now, but I'm gonna get through it.
yeah, well, at the end of the day, we're all here, and therefore that's the case. If that makes sense. I have some friends who have been homeless and like battled with substance abuse, or and at the end of the day, it's like sometimes they're super thankful for everything, and sometimes they're not.
That's all.
And that's and that's the beauty of life, this sort of
tool of
we
life.
find the beauty in the people around us, and and even when it's hard, we know that we're there because we choose to be, Because ultimately, every single time you wake up,
Yeah.
that's yeah. So I guess that's what I would say
Yeah, thank you.
is, I know some people who are, they're positive all the time, and that's great. And I know
It's
some people
hard.
who aren't, but they're
It's hard to
they're
be positive.
also,
That's not realistic.
yeah, it's like we gotta
Yeah.
meet people where they're at,
Yeah.
and that's love,
Yeah.
That's
As long as would you say that the connecting element is that love? There's love within the community that you have, and with the
yeah, yeah. I know people who would give you the shirt off their back, and I've truly found some of the most beautiful and caring people that I never would have even known existed at some points, and I'm incredibly
yeah.
thankful for, yeah, yeah. And you're one
Oh,
of them,
well,
by the way.
extremely grateful and thankful to be a part of your life and to be able to share not only this conversation, but to get to see your art and support it and learn your story. I went on your website. I don't remember
Yeah,
how long ago it was now, but I went on your website and read your story, and that's really what inspired me to want to have you on the podcast because there's a lot of elements of
that's
life
sweet.
that you probably wouldn't expect that we share in painful aspects. And I, more than anything, want to be able to help provide love to others and represent.
I really appreciate everything I've seen from you. Be it art and, like I said before, just everything you
Oh,
put into the
thank you so
world.
much.
Um,
I'm trying.
I think
I'm
it's very
sick of
clear
the
what.
shit of other people, but I'm trying my best.
Yeah,
I just gotta. That's why I
I
have
guess
to
we can only
pause.
affect what we put into the world, right? Yeah,
But thank you.
and that's
I don't
okay
know.
too, right?
That's where.
I
That's
mean, it
why.
is. I mean, we might not want it on the podcast, but it's also a part of
Yeah.
human.
It is. It is.
You know.
I
Yeah.
tell myself that every time I get worked up. I'm like, no, I know it's fine. Everything's fine. I'm doing everything I can. I don't have to be, I don't have to take on other people's bad decisions as if they are my own. Cuz that's also why I get angry. It's like I see someone doing something that you just know is immoral or just wrong. And it's
They're
like
wrong. Yeah.
I can't let myself get angry cuz I will get angry. And that's also why I have to do what I
Yeah.
do as a person. Yeah,
It's a
and
balance.
balancing it and being passionate. It's because it comes from a passion and one of
Yeah.
support. But with that, and
Yeah.
so much of your journey, and thank you again for being a part of this and sharing all that you have. Would you have any recommendations of books or podcasts or courses or any type of tools that you utilize, and how have they helped you?
Um.
YouTube.
Yeah. YouTube.
Okay. I love that.
Yeah. I mean, in a general sense. So, like, okay, I I dropped out of school. And I'm
Very
not
true.
ashamed of that at all. I think I've found a lot of success that I would say would make it no different than if I had gone to school. But things that I did was I educated myself on art history. Like Yale posts art history lectures
Yes.
online, and you can find them on their website, or you can find them on YouTube. And like one of them is like I like this lecturer a lot. I forget his name, but it's heroine, and narrative storytelling in art. And then it just sort of walks you through how narrative works in art historically and how it's changed, and how do you look at a painting that has narrative and how do you dissect it. And then you can also just go into like, okay, well, Pablo Picasso is super popular. Let's learn about Cubists today. And what were they trying to accomplish? What's the history of it? Why do people like it? Dada, and so like it's super important, I think, to learn about art history and movements if you want to pursue fine art. It's at the end of the day, we're all standing on the shoulders of our predecessors. There's no I'm gonna seclude myself and therefore have a brand new, completely new idea anymore. It's at the end of the day, we should all be leaning into that, in my opinion, without
community.
learning and
But it takes
and then like again, it's like if you don't know how to oil paint, there are so many great demos online that, and then on top of that, it just do it, just
make bad art.
Any skill at the end of the day. And I guess that's another thing. Allow yourself to be bad. And also, if you make a piece that's bad, you don't need to keep working on it.
Learn from it.
And that took me a while. Move forward. It's a learning experience. Make bad art. It's the most important thing a great artist can do, and I'm not calling myself a great artist, but a great artist will make a bad painting. I mean, they will, and
that is life. That is the beauty.
It's just part of it.
We are allowed to make mistakes. We're allowed to make bad art.
And if you don't make bad art, you'll never make good art.
Because you have to. No matter what you do in life, like our starting point should not be our end goal. No matter the skill, no matter whatever it is, and that comes with a balance, as we said earlier.
Another thing that I like to live my life by is, so I think an artist has to balance. I think it's important to make what you think needs to be put into the world. You can't always make necessarily like, if I just love making stick figures, that might not be what the world needs right now, if that makes sense.
I think so.
And that's kind of a very simplified version of just like, you got to make what the world needs, but you also need to have fun. Like, you can't, if you're making art, be it music or painting or drawing or dance, and you're not having fun doing it and you're not enjoying yourself, then you're going to make bad art, whatever it is. So there's a balance between that where, you should enjoy it.
Yes, make bad art, but not only, but within the context of fulfilling yourself, finding that balance, doing something actively, but also it rewards you. Like you said earlier, some people like to go for walks. You need to make art. I think it's I understand, definitely.
I'm making sense here, right?
No.
It's not just not.
Yes,
cool.
You're doing it. I mean, people leave comments, please. Let us know. Do you feel the same way? Do you have the similar reflections on the importance and perspective of creating art? And also, I really appreciate your decision to pursue education. Like, absolutely, a degree, no matter what, only is institutional verification of completing a curriculum.
Right. Well,
It
I know
doesn't
so many
mean
artists
you can learn
that,
anywhere, or not anywhere, but anywhere. Like YouTube has a lot of really good
yeah.
resources and lectures on all kinds of
Well,
subjects.
how many art students do we know that got a degree in art and then
And
never
then
made
just
art
had
after
thousands
that?
of
Like
dollars
at the
in
end of the
debt
day, all that matters is consistency.
for what?
Yeah. I guess another tip I would give for people is art is community based.
Let's dive into that real
So
quick.
build your community. Go to local events. If you want to show in galleries, go to shows. Don't ask them about
Just
showing
go.
there.
Just be
Just
present.
be a familiar person. Just go. And if there's figure drawing, go to figure drawing. If people are doing, like, I used to go to this critique night, and you would just, you would go and you would help other people with their pieces, and you talk about your work, and you make connections and
Yes.
friends, and
Yeah.
and at the end of the day, if you're making art, then it's
Yeah.
meant to be in the world.
Find your community. Find your
Unless
community.
it's unless it's private, and that's but yeah, community is important. It's maybe the most important
Yeah.
part of art.
Actually, because why else
Sort
do
of
we
the
make art other than for it to be something that can be shared?
yeah, we're reaching out to people, who share this experience or this feeling or whatever. Yeah, it's important.
Absolutely.
Be active in your communities,
Yeah,
guys. Do it.
Feel the pressure.
You'll meet a lot of cool people. Artists are cool
Healing the world.
people.
Hashtag healing the world. Be in your community. We're figuring this out together,
Yeah.
everybody. We're just be a part of your community, and from there, like you said, things will continue to connect, and there's so much to learn from other
Yeah,
people,
and if
too.
you're around other creative people, it'll be easier to be
Yes.
creative. It's just how it works.
The refueling.
So
Well,
yeah, and sort of just like,
no, you're fine.
go ahead. Sorry. I don't even know what I was gonna say. Something. I'm sure it was smart or something.
Sorry.
I don't know.
Sorry for cutting you off. I was gonna say, with our closing remarks and coming upon the hour, do you have any closing pieces of advice you'd like to give to anybody who's starting their creative journey or finding themselves on a community base, whichever you prefer, or both? Because, like you said, making art is finding community.
Be true to yourself. Do it. Yeah, do it. And if you do it, then you're succeeding. And if you search for community, you'll find it.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. This has been such a delightful conversation.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
within the depth that there is, life is pretty complex, and
Yeah. Thank you for giving me the platform. I don't usually get to talk about
absolutely.
myself
Well,
at length. So yeah, I appreciate your interest in me and my art and what I do and all that stuff. So
Absolutely. Well, I am so very grateful to have you here, and thank you to everybody listening and being a part of the mission to create a better reality for all. My friend Jmaloof, did you want to give a little bit of a shout out to where the people can find you on the social media or also website information?
yeah, let me I always say it wrong, so let me just real quick. My Instagram handle is probably where I'm most active. If you want I do a lot of progress on my paintings, on my stories and stuff like that. It's Jmaloof. That's JMALOOF _ Art, Jmaloof Art. And then my website is kind of complicated, so I'm sorry. It's linked in my Instagram, but if you don't have Instagram, it's the Google Sites website. So it's sites.google.com/view/jmaloofart/home. And then you're also welcome to email me if anyone has questions or wants to chat. And that would just be artbymaloof@gmail.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Do you have any closing remarks you'd like to share, or just a regular old ta-ta for now?
Keep on rocking, guys. Thank you for listening. And thank you for having me.
Keep on rocking, everybody, and absolutely thank you for being a part of the podcast, and thank you for sharing your story with us. Turn on and tune in to Ring Ring Hello, the podcast where no matter your background, you're not alone in a post-COVID world. And remember, love yourself today. You're worth it.
Yeah, I do what I'm told.